What is it that you're prepared to risk everything for? What is it that you wouldn't countenance ever leaving behind? What is it that when you're away, you would always take with you no matter what? For some, it might be your passport. For others, it might be your credit cards or cash. And for a few, it might even be your children. For me, it would be my tea and coffee making facilities. Because as you know, I like to travel. And although I carry a very small bag with me, wherever I go in the world, to whatever exotic and possibly dangerous place I like to go, I always take with me the facilities to make a cup of tea. And so that consists of the following. First of all, I always take some tea bags. I usually take Waitrose Gold Extra Strong because it's the best for this kind of thing. I also always take a mug. I like to take a nice mug as well. Then I will always take some powdered milk. Now, it's not as good as the real thing, but it's better than nothing and sometimes needs must. I always take with me a teaspoon, should I want to do a little bit of stirring. And finally, the piece de resistance, which is this electric boiling element that used to belong to my gran, that you just put in the cup and you plug in and off you go with boiling the water. Now, carrying all of this stuff is not always without difficulty or without risk. It takes a lot of room in my bag. Sometimes I get some very suspicious looks going through the metal detector. And after 9/11, when I was travelling hand baggage only, I'd often take an empty bag with me just to put the teaspoon in. Now, was all of this worthwhile? Well, of course it was, because it meant that wherever I would travel, I'd always be able to put the kettle on. In hotels in Turkey and Iran, on trains in Bulgaria, at resorts in the Czech Republic. No matter how far away from home I was, I would always be able to have a nice cup of tea, and it would be as if I was back here in Staines. In today's Gospel, we see a man with a similar single-minded focus. He sees a pearl of great price, and he's prepared to sell everything he owns and risk everything that he has to obtain that pearl. Jesus commends his single-mindedness, but invites us to ask of ourselves the question, what is it that you and I are single-minded about? At a time when the focus for many of us is on keeping safe, where are we prepared to take risks, and what are we prepared to take those risks for? In the Gospel, Jesus encourages us to be single-minded in taking risks for the kingdom of God. Well, what is that kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is not just something that's in the future, a wonderful future that we can all enjoy, which is what it is, but it's also something that, like with my tea and coffee equipment, it is something that is present in our lives right now. Just as whenever I go on holiday, always have the resources and equipment I need to make a nice cup of tea, so it is with the kingdom of God. All of us have within us the resources that we need to make present God's kingdom of love and peace and truth and joy in the world in which we live now, and in the situation that we find ourselves, whatever that situation might be. And so just as there's 5 things I need, tea bags, a mug, milk, teaspoon, a kettle to make a cup of tea, so there's 5 things that each of us need to bring about the kingdom of God, to make that kingdom of God present. First of all, a joyful heart. Secondly, a courageous heart. Thirdly, a gentle heart, a heart that is not judgmental. Fourthly, a heart that puts others first. And fifthly, and fundamentally, a heart that knows that it's loved by God. Focus on those values. Put them before everything else, and the kingdom of God will surely be be ours.